Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and it's a breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. And if you are an Arsenal fan, you are not gonna really like it. According to him, our Spurs are really interested in signing Eze from Crystal Palace, and Eze is interested to go to Tottenham Hotspur. He has shown interest leaving Crystal Palace and going to Spurs, but the problem is Crystal Palace, because that release clause has expired. It's what Crystal Palace are going to want, the price that Crystal Palace are going to set, and Tottenham Hotspur have need to match their price. That they are going at the same time for Savinho. I talked about it in the last video that they are looking to sign Savinho as well, and now it seems like they want to sign Eze as well. I mean, this as I said, this is quite shocking in a way, to be very honest with you. A month ago, it felt like Eze was really close to joining Arsenal, but it has been delayed, and now it seems like Spurs are trying to swoop in and get Eze to join them. And the fact that Eze is really willing to go to Spurs, it shows that basically he just wants to leave Crystal Palace. He doesn't see his future there. Everybody thought that he was going to leave at the start of last season, but he somehow stayed for another season, and he was incredible again last season, the season that went by. And for then I sort of understand Eze's thinking as well. I mean, he is currently this is going to be his last chance to go to a big club, supposedly a big top 6 club. So he's looking at of course he's an Arsenal fan and he would have loved to come to Arsenal. But the fact that Arsenal have not really made a move after that initial contact with Eze, and it felt like the personal terms were agreed with Eze as well, but they really did not go ahead and get that deal done. They really did not go ahead and try to talk to Crystal Palace, and that has really given chance to teams like Spurs now that they can go ahead and make a move. It will be quite interesting to see, because as I said, they are trying to get in Savinho, and if they go ahead and bring in Eze, I mean Madison has gotten injured, so he's going to be out for a couple of fights. Son has left, so they really need a players to come in, and players who can single-handedly change the game, who can come in and score the goals, who can provide assists, just generally uplift the entire squad, uplift the entire fan base. And Eze is a player like that. And if Spurs manage to bring in Savinho, if they manage to bring in Eze, I mean that is looking like a really good transfer window for Spurs. Of course, the main thing is like Thomas Frank, a lot of players respect Thomas Frank, the way that he plays, the way that he manages the club, what he has what he did at Brentford. Everybody appreciates that, and the players know he's sort of a perfect a man manager. The way that he manages the player, the way he talks with them, the relationship that he has with his players. I think that is one of the most important things that some of these players look up to him. I think that is one of the reasons why Savinho is so interested to go to Spurs, and I think that is why as he's looking at a chance to go to Spurs with Thomas Frank at the helm. I think he's looking at he can make me a much better player than what I'm at the moment at Crystal Palace, and there's more chance of being recognized for playing for Spurs. Let's be very honest. I mean, it's a World Cup year, as he wants to play in the big games. He wants to be the main guy. He's going to be the main guy at Crystal Palace, but unfortunately it has happened before, and it might happen yet again. Choosing the World Cup squad, and it might roam around the supposedly big 6 club, the players in the big 6, and as they might not get a chance to play in the World Cup. So he might be looking at that scenario as well. And as I said before, that this is going to be his last contract, and he's looking at Spurs, that if Arsenal are not really going to come in, then he might go ahead and join Spurs, because he wants to play in the Champions League. Spurs are in the Champions League, they have that advantage. They themselves need a big squad to compete in the Champions League. Even if they don't win it, if they want to go far in the tournament, they need to have a big enough squad, not only for the Champions League, but to come back and play the games in the Premier League. It's not going to be easy for them, so they need players like Eze to come in, and I think it is a smart move on Spurs' part. He's an amazing player. There's no denying that. As I said before, he can win you games single-handedly. He can play as the number 10. He can play on the wings. He's not that good on the wings, but he playing behind the striker, he can do wonders for Spurs. And the way that Thomas Frank plays, I think is going to fit really good in his system as well at Spurs. I think it will be a really, really good signing. But as I say, the main question is, what is the price tag that Crystal Palace are going to set? I don't think he's going to be less than 50 to 60 million. I think 50 million is going to be the at the minimum. At the minimum, they are going to ask about 50 million from Spurs. And for as and I think he is worth it in today's market. If you really want to go ahead and buy him, you really need to pay that amount. But the fact of the matter is, are they really going to go ahead and pay it? I mean, they are paying about 45 million to 50 million, including the add-ons for Savinho deal. Is Daniel Levy going ahead, is going to go ahead and pay 50 million for as well? Sorry, so like 100 million for two players. It is quite a big question. To be very honest with you, because Levy doesn't really like to spend that much money. But he has brought in Thomas Frank. He has brought in him. I think he would have, promised him the funds. He would have promised him the players that he needed. And the fact that, as I said already, Madison was such an important player. He's injured, he's out for a long time, and then Son has left the club as well. So they need replacements. They need big players. They need big game players, who can take the game by the scruff of its neck and change the scenario of the game. And as it is one of those players. Palace, on the other hand, I mean, they know that he wants to leave, and they would be really, really happy that when the release clause was there, nobody really came in, nobody really tried to sign him at that moment in time. But now, because the release clause is not there, everything is, to be very honest, in Crystal Palace's hand. They can do whatever they want. They can set the price tag, and as I said, it is going to be a high price tag because they know how important this is. It will be interesting. In my opinion, I think this is going to continue until the deadline day. I don't think this is going to get resolved so soon. I think we are going to keep on talking about it, and it could turn out to be a bidding war between the two North London clubs, and maybe somebody else might join in as well, to get Eze. And unfortunately for Eze, it might happen that he might stay at Crystal Palace, come at the end of the transfer window, but that nobody is really willing to go ahead and pay the price that Palace want. I think that is a scenario that can happen as well, but I don't think it is going to happen, to be very honest with you. I still think, I think he is going to leave Crystal Palace. I think there is going to come a time where, his agent is going to come in. They are going to go ahead and ask for give a hand in the transfer request. He's going to we are going to have that drama in this transfer saga, where the player hands in the transfer request. It helps the clubs that want to sign him, and again, it will be interesting to see if Arsenal really come back into this game, come into this scenario, then where Eze wants to go. I mean, it is between Arsenal and Spurs. He's an Arsenal fan. There's more chance of winning the league with Arsenal, but whether he's going to get more game time at Arsenal or he's going to get more game time at Spurs, it's a World Cup here, so it's going to be a lot of thinking for Eze to do. But the fact that Spurs have really shown interest, and the fact that Eze is also interested in going to them, I think that's a big indication of for Spurs. They would be really happy with that. That's a positive news for them, that the player is willing to come to them, even though the other biggest rivals are trying to sign him as well. So as I said, I think it is going to continue until the end of the transfer window. It could it could turn out to be anything, but at the moment it feels like Eze is going to leave Crystal Palace. Where he ends up, that is a big question. That's it from me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation. Do you think he's going to end up at Spurs? Do you think Arsenal are going to come back and try to sign Eze? And if you were Eze, where would you like to go? Go to Arsenal, try to win the title, try to win the Champions League, but not get that much of game time, or try to go to Spurs and play enough games to get yourself in that World Cup squad. Let me in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 550 subscribers before the end of the transfer window, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.